Welcome, everyone. This is the Masterclass. My name is Patricknazareth. I have been teaching for around 30 years now, and I would like to share some of that experience with you in order to remove some doubts if you have any. Today, we look at the poem A Roadside Stand, written by Robert Frost. A little bit about Robert Frost first. He was born on March the 26th, 1874, at a place called San Francisco in America on the western coast. He moved all the way from the west coast to the eastern coast to the county of New Hampshire, where his grandfather had a farm. He was very happy there. He wrote many poems. Unfortunately for him, they were not published, so he had to accept a teaching job in England and sailed all the way across the Atlantic Ocean. While there, his poems were published, not just there, but also back at his home in America. He sailed back to America during World War I and returned to find that he was a celebrated poet in his own land. He is the only person to have won 4 Pulitzer Prizes for great literature. The poem then, sometimes I feel myself I can hardly bear the thought of so much childish longing in vain, the sadness that lurks near the open window there, that waits all day in almost open prayer for the squeal of brakes, the sound of a stopping car. Of all the 1,000 selfish cars that pass, just one to inquire what a farmer's prices are. So first we have to understand this is actually part of a larger poem. In this poem we are seeing, like, if you have been outside or you travel outside your city, you will find that people set up stalls by the roadside. They are selling things that are grown locally. For example, you pass a village, you might find a person sitting next to the farm selling vegetables. Similarly, this is America. This is the time of the Great Depression. Money is in short supply. We are in the countryside. And the poet feels bad. He feels bad for whom? There are country people who set up stands by the side of their farms. They are trying to sell something, anything, in order to gain some money. And what do they wait for? They hope to see that the many cars which move around the highway, one might stop and ask them, listen, what do you have for sale? And they will say, I have this. And that person will give them some money, they will give the produce, and they will all be happy. Continuing on, just want to inquire what a farmer's prices are, and they will all be happy. They don't ask for much. Just one person buying their produce per day is good enough for them. And one did stop, but only to plow up grass, in using the yard to back and turn around, and another to ask the way to where it was bound, and another to ask, could they sell it a gallon of gas? They couldn't. This crossly, they had none. Didn't it see? No, in country money, the country scale of gain, the requisite lift of spirit has never been found. The farmer is waiting at his roadside stand to sell his produce. He hopes for a car to stop and buy it. A car does stop. Does it buy anything? No. It simply uses his yard to back. So he backs the car in, turns off, and goes out again. Another person stops to ask for directions. A third person is running out of gas, in other words petrol, and asks the farmer, does he have any petrol to sell? So the farmer by this time is upset, he's angry, he's waiting. He says, no, I don't have gas. I'm selling produce, I'm selling vegetables. You can see that. I'm selling fruit. How can I give you gas? You see, in the country, money is not the scale by which you are measured. Money is not everything for them. So they have very little of it. They look for something other than money. They look for happiness of the spirit. Continuing on. Also, the voice of the country seems to complain. I can't help owning the great relief it would be to put these people at one stroke out of their pain. And then next day, as I come back into the same, I wonder how I should like you to come by to me and offer to put me gently out of my pain. The poet is playing the part of an observer. He's seeing all this and he feels very bad for these country people. He feels, wouldn't it be better for them to die rather than almost to live an existence where they are begging for some assistance almost? Wouldn't it be better just for them to be killed? So he goes to sleep on it. The next day he wakes up and that mood of his has passed. And he wonders, I am a city dweller and I am thinking like this. Suppose you come up to me and tell me, listen, I would like to kill you to put you out of your pain. What would I think? We have not read the entire poem. Like I told you, this is only an extract. But the themes that run through the poem are of rural life as opposed to urban life. In the country, in the villages, people look at them differently as opposed to the cities, as opposed to the towns. You yourself must be going back to your villages, or maybe you come from a village and you're visiting again and again. So you can see the difference in the way people conduct themselves. When they need to buy something in the cities, everything is about money. You have money, you can buy whatever you want. When you go back into the villages, everything is not about money. Let us say you don't have any vegetables that particular day to cook food. Can you take something from a field in the villages? Yes, you can. Because villages don't have any problem with that. They don't measure everything in terms of money. Can you do the same in the city? If you don't have something, can you go to your neighbor's house and pick it up? No, it would be considered stealing. There's a disconnect between urban life and rural life that the poet is looking at. Robert Frost is telling us and he wants us to understand. And why should there be a disconnect? Because we are all the same human beings. That's it then. I hope I have been of help to you. Please do remember to like, subscribe, and share. Remember, there are other people out there who might need our help.